Dude, I love Jordan Peterson, dude. Every fucking story has to go back to trans people somehow, okay?
Bruh,
you gotta
what?
hand it.
All right, what's going on, YouTube? It's Flake Talk back for another reaction. Oh, we're here with your favorite reactor, Hassan. Will getting laid turn you into a psychopath? Should be very interesting. Let's hop right into it.
What we do?
I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like, subscribe. All right, I'm gonna wait. You got it? All right, bet. Let's get into it.
Jordan Peterson on the emptiness of hookup culture. Is this an old episode?
Jordan, one of the things that he's
I kind of love that Jordan Peterson's back, baby.
is that's
He's
not
back
what
in
you
a
are
big
sold.
way.
Now the idea is that there is no happily ever after. That basically you're a fool if you get married, and that true happiness lies in changing partners on a fairly routine basis. But that's not the case that you make at all. You make the case that happiness is going to lie, and fulfillment, more importantly, is going to lie in the hard work of putting romance into your relationship. And people, I think, when they get into this thing, they don't know how much work it is.
When I want to learn about relationships, I go to the guy who does not understand female anatomy and does not understand that, like, you know, these are supposed to be wet when a woman is aroused. That's the guy who I go to. You know what I mean? Like, so
He's referring to Ben Shapiro reading like WAP. I don't know if you guys ever watched the video, but he kept on questioning. He was like, "Oh, I don't think it's supposed to be wet." Like every time, like they said in the song. Yeah. So that's what the song's talking about. How Ben Shapiro doesn't know like regular female anatomy.
wants to become an object of desire for me to fuck in the workplace. I see people with makeup and I have uncontrollable urges. I want to fuck them. I'm a man after all.
Bro, that's not
When
even
I had
Ben Shapiro.
men
Oh,
in my
okay.
office who were very
Yeah.
successful, serially sexually active, and it didn't work for them very well. Now, I would say very forthrightly, if I had two men and all other things being equal, one was capable of serial sexual relationships and was attractive enough to manage that, and the other wasn't, that the person who managed to do that is more successful. I believe that. If you're abstinent because you're incapable, that is not a virtue.
Damn, why you gotta fucking call out Ben like this, dude? I can't believe he just made fun of Ben Shapiro right to his face. That's kind of fucked, dude. I mean, he just said if you're abstinent because, you know, no one wants to fuck you, then that's not a virtue, dude. He just straight up roasted Ben Shabibo, brother. I've seen the articles that you've written back in college about how you were abstinent before marriage. That's not a virtue, my friend. Absolutely no one wanted to fuck you because your personality is abhorrent.
Hassan's saying that Ben Shapiro was an incel, and then he got married, so that's when he stopped being an incel.
I'm not getting the lingos right. Incel means involuntary, right? Jordan Peterson is saying that if you are an involuntary celibate, then that is not a virtue. But according to the tweets that Ben Shapiro just posted, it seems like he was letting the world know that he was voluntarily celibate.
But then this guy right here, he's saying that, like, with the way he was describing, you know, as reading WAP and whatnot, based on my calculations here, that was not voluntary.
Wait, so what did he say?
He's like, "Oh, I don't think it's supposed to be wet. I think that means you have an infection." Like he doesn't know that it's supposed to be wet. It's a complex and intelligent roast. What do you think about Jordan Peterson's take about if you're an incel, like it's not like a virtue?
It's like saying I'm on a fast when you just can't get any food. You know, you're not on a fast, you just can't get any food.
You're starving.
You're
Yeah,
just you're just starving straight up. Don't make it fancy, you're just starving, man.
I always had that opinion, like, of guys who be like, "This is why I don't like mess with females." Like when they see like some girl acting crazy, it's like, nah, you just can't get any girls. That's why.
Yeah, there's some good girls out there, you're just not getting them.
If you have a problem with all girls, then perhaps it's not a problem with girls. It's a problem with you.
Absolutely no one wanted to fuck you because your personality is abhorrent.
You can't divorce something as miraculous as sexuality from your life. How are you going to do that? Well, you can trivialize it. It's nothing. Well, okay. Well, then you have nothing. So good luck with that. You're going to take one of the deepest sources of meaning that's available to you and turn it into nothing. Well, that's its own punishment. What is it that you want from sex? Do you want intimacy? Do you want closeness? Do you even want the experience to be of high quality? Do you want the person to pay attention to you? Well, they're going to have to care for you. I mean, lust will get you somewhere, and it's not nothing, but it's by no means everything. People are lonely. They need...
Dude, I can't, like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, he's such a charlatan. Literally, he describes the most basic shit, and everyone eats it up as though it's like the most profound thing he's ever said. It's literally like, When I'm thirsty, I drink water. And when I'm not thirsty, I don't want to drink water. But this does not change the importance of water. The body is primarily comprised of water. So is the planet. Water is all around us, but it's not everything. Sometimes you need land. After all, when you take a very long shower or a bubble bath, your fingers start getting pruny. Scientists have no answer for this. Sometimes I like to do that. I like to stand inside the bathtub and get very wet. And other times I don't want to be wet. Being wet inside the pool is expected, but being wet when you get caught and it starts raining out of nowhere and you don't have an umbrella, then that's not the kind of wetness that you would appreciate. That's it. And then boom, like fucking everyone's like, oh my God. Oh, he speaks to me. He speaks to me so much. He has an incel audience. How is this not good for him to say? It's what he's saying right now is not even bad, by the way, but it's far from profound. That's my point. He literally is basically just stating, it's understandable that people desire sexual experiences with others, but it's not the end all be all. And human beings want companionship beyond that. If you are a charismatic individual who's like good looking enough to be able to fuck many people, okay, or like become a serial dater, as he was trying to say, that is not fulfilling in the end, because you lose sight of companionship when you're doing that. That's all he said. None of that is profound. Even remotely profound.
At least they agree, though. At least they agree on.
Yeah. So I think we now we see like his real problem with Jordan Peterson. He just doesn't like the people who like worship him. That's his main problem.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he has an actual problem with like what he's saying.
Yeah, he thinks he's overhyped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like ridiculously profound, it's still a message that maybe some people need to hear or some people maybe haven't heard of.
Hassan Abi right here. He said it himself, he's from a Wallah family. And so he understands some of these things. Some of them are like implicit to him. You don't have to tell him anything about that. But to some other people, I feel like Jordan Peterson has a way of just not necessarily saying anything profound, but he has a way of just like breaking things down systematically and feeding them to somebody in a way that like even if they aren't familiar with these kinds of things, they can kind of like ingest them and just say, okay, I could think about it from that kind of way.
If you're already familiar with like self-improvement, self-help, then nothing Jordan Peterson's saying is going to be like earth-shattering to you. But if it's the first time that you're ever hearing it and it's from Jordan Peterson, then yeah, you're going to appreciate it a lot.
And that's exactly why Jordan Peterson says that the reason why his message is so asked for is because most people do not hear this message. The agendas that are promoted nowadays, like either you're being distracted by mainstream media or you're distracted by social media.
Yeah, but that's the difference. No one is expecting profound sentiment from me, but everyone makes it seem as though everything that Jordan Peterson said is fucking brilliant. That's the hilarity.
Even if you're successful at what you pursue, say serial sexual satisfaction, Tinder, you're a hot Tinder item. Well, if you're a male and you're attractive and you have an endless array of willing females, it's a gateway to psychopathy as far as I'm concerned.
What? Dude, come on, dude. Please, bro. Like anyone with credentials in psych saying some shit like this should literally have everything taken away from them with respect to that field, okay? He literally said if you're a hot dude who women want to have sex with on Tinder, that's a gateway to psychopathy. Because what, like you act out on those desires and you fucking like develop psychopathy like a disease? Like, that's crazy to me.
I think the reason why he said
narcissism is a real thing. You know what I mean? Like for some people.
When you're that guy, just keep it simple. When you're that guy, it is difficult to think about anybody else but yourself. If you are that guy, you don't need to sacrifice anything. You just get it no matter what. That's not how society works. That's not how real life works. Everything in your life, you need to provide value in order to get something in return. So that's probably what he means by psychopathy. I'd say sociopathy, if anything, not psychopathy. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, because you're born with psychopathy, and then sociopathy is like.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Exactly.
Maybe he just messed up his words, but
maybe exactly.
But I mean, I definitely see how it could result in like narcissism. But I feel like you're a narcissist first, and then you end up down that path of like using women and like too much and like gluttony and all of that and greed and stuff.
You think so?
So I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think women and money can change some.
Differs from person to person. But if you're someone who didn't have it and then has it, like at first you might be like gluttonous with it, but then you also realize that like, okay, like
Mm.
like you also have like an appreciation for it, different than someone who just like is already a narcissist.
These things are hard learned. You know, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Bigger your ego, harder it'll crash. Might not be everybody, but just like
No, it will be everybody. Anyway,
You think so?
I'm pretty sure everybody,
every single
everybody-
human being will get a rude
I'm
awakening.
pretty sure there's one human being that has never been humbled. I'm pretty sure there's this one person. There has to be. There's no way it's just everybody.
Bro,
That's
When
just
when they died, when they were on their last breath, they were for sure humble.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's
I mean,
Because you have to divorce your sexuality from the humanity of the people that you're engaged with sexually. It's gonna
why? Why is there no like consensual feeling targeted? No, I think it's so fucking idiotic that like there are people that are fucking sick and act out on their sexual desires or have relationships with people primarily based around sex and they're not fulfilling even remotely. But why is there no world in which like people can have consensual adult relationships where they can have multiple partners as long as they're like clearly communicating that? I will never understand this concept. Like, oh no, you're just literally robbing them of their humanity. Why? Because they want to fuck and you want to fuck and you're comfortable with one another and you fuck sometimes. He has horse blinders on to how relationships operate beyond his own like anecdotal or rather personal experience where like it literally can't happen.
Like, what did Jordan Peterson say that made him say this?
he says they have to divorce their humanity from those
Their sexuality.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you have that many partners, then you're not looking at them as human beings anymore. You're just looking at them as sex objects, which is like kind of my point. Like you kind of already have to be like a psychopath already to kind of like start viewing people in that way.
But his argument is that you don't have to divorce your humanity.
In order to keep moving on like that, to sustain that kind of lifestyle, you would have to divorce your personality from your sexuality. But then, like, when you do find that person who triggers your personality, then, like, the sexuality is also going to be there always. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can eventually merge them together. You don't have to completely divorce them. It's a separation at best.
We eat, we sleep, we like drink water, and then we have sex. I mean, it's just as natural as that. I mean, bacteria have sex. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe the most natural thing. Is the most natural thing that there is. You know,
He said bacteria.
bro, it's facts. Bacteria gets horny.
Personal experience where like it literally can't happen. It can't happen outside of the rigid way that I see the world and my own personal experiences. You are saying something completely different than him. He's talking about hookup culture and how people that have multiple partners are basically like psychopaths because having multiple hookup partners implies that you literally do not care about that person at all, which is ridiculous because it only works if you believe that every sexual interaction that you have with another consenting adult human being also has all of this additional baggage that you need to attach to it. And like basically what he's saying is you fuck, you are in a relationship. That's it. And if you don't do that, that means you don't care about the other person. That means you're a psychopath.
But
I think the color of his nails means that he's a sub or something. But I don't know. He said it's not a sub.
A lot of heterosexual guys have been doing that lately. I don't mess with
It's a trend. It's a trend that it's like I don't know. Like I think TikTok or I don't know. Maybe it's a West Coast thing, LA thing. I don't know.
It might be like a rich boy thing, you know.
It's happening more with like rappers or painting their nails too.
Rappers.
That might be the next trend. In 10 years, we might be having our nails painted.
No, hell no. Hell no, bro.
There are people like that. There are certainly sociopathic individuals or whatever who may be hooking up with multiple people. There might be selfish people who are hooking up with multiple people and like don't care or consider their partner's wishes or interests. It's not the other way around. Just because that exists doesn't mean that that's the fucking rule. And that as long as you have like multiple the moment you have multiple partners, that means like you cannot ever engage in a consensual relationship with more than one individual that is sexual in nature and nothing beyond that, because you're robbing them of their humanity. When you fuck someone, you're taking a piece of them. It's like basically that basic bitch take described in more of a annoying elitist way, I guess, like in an academic way. The take here is literally when you fuck someone, you take a part of them with you everywhere you go. I thought what he said is having lustful sex is less satisfying than romantic sex, and someone with a lot of women can become egotistical. That's not what he said. That's what you want him to say. He's taking it one step further. He's correct in his assumption that, like, I, from my personal point of view, yes, lustful sex or pursuing sexual desire exclusively for, like, getting one out, rubbing one out, or you know, getting it out of your system is, of course, never going to be as fulfilling as a romantic relationship that you are involved with another human being and you care for them beyond like a companionship that is purely sexual in nature. But that's like a very obvious fucking thing.
I got a story to tell you, man.
I just want to say the comments right now, they're about to be like, yo, he's strawmanning. Yo, the amount of times I've seen the word strawman in the comments, you guys are like the debate king. Like, I'm not even like hip to like the proper terminology for debates or whatever. But if you guys can explain what exactly what strawmanning is, and if Hassan just did it here, let us know in the comments. We're not debate professionals.
I got a story to tell you, man. I talked to this woman this week, Yeonmi Park. And she wrote a book called In Order to Live. She's an escapee from North Korea. And she was literally a slave in China. And she struggled through all that, ended up in South Korea and went to a South Korean university. She did all her education in 1 year, elementary, junior high, and high school in 1 year, passed the GED and got into a competitive South Korean university. So I asked her about what's happened in recent years. She went to Columbia University.
Wait. Is this actually like a fucking psych paper, or is he referencing like a fucking autobiography that he read as though it's like
just a friend
comprehensive psych study on? I don't even know what the fuck I don't know how this ties back to hookup culture.
Bro, it's just a story. Relax.
It gets to go to an Ivy League school in New York. It's like the pinnacle of her ambition. She was drastically affected by George Orwell's Animal Farm when she was in South Korea.
George Orwell's 1987 Animal Farm, Animal Crossing, brother.
She went to Columbia. I said, well, how was that? She said, it was a complete waste of time and money. And I said, well, wait a second. You can't really mean that. Surely in your 4 years studying humanities at Columbia, you must have had one professor or one course that spoke to you.
Why? Were they too communist in Columbia or something? Okay.
That she mentioned one human biology class where she learned about evolution, but said that that was all twisted by political correctness near the
This is... Dude, I love Jordan Peterson, dude. Every fucking story has to go back to trans people somehow, okay? You gotta
what?
hand it to him. He's very good.
What?
Breaking.
Yeah, because I guess he's talking about human biology and political correctness ties into trans people.
Jordan Peterson, let's be real. He can be pretty dramatic sometimes. He says stuff like,
he's dramatic. That's the first thing I noticed when like the first video I watched, like about like men working, but he made it sound so like intense.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, this dude is dramatic. So like I immediately I just kind of like zoned about, and then like we started reacting to him on this channel. And then I was like, okay, like he can actually like debate pretty well and like has good conversations with, and like he can control his emotions pretty well. Like I respected him a little bit more for that. But at first I was like, this dude's like really dramatic.
And he's able to accurately describe what he's thinking, so you don't really have to.
Honestly, if you think about what Jordan Peterson is saying,
Yeah.
if he says it in a monotone voice, men should build themselves up so that they can be useful to society.
Yeah.
No one's gonna listen, you know what I'm saying?
That's how Hassan Abi's doing his.
Exactly. Yep. Same year. Same with Hassan Abi. He's pretty dramatic too. Very dramatic. You know.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un's Hunger Game. Okay. Her Twitter account is insane, dude.
She said that she felt just about as stymied in her freedom of speech at Columbia University studying humanities as she did in bloody North Korea. That's what
Yikes.
we're doing to our young people.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Oh my god, dude. That's awesome. What a neat little way to wrap this up. Back to like reactionary American politics. North Korean a woman who escaped comes to Columbia and says, this is just like Kim Jong-un. My biology class is reminiscent of Kim Jong-un's regime. It kind of devalues your entire shtick at that point, right? Like, I mean, no one is out here saying the fucking North Koreans are having a peachy time, okay? I'm not one of those people that's like, no, actually. I'm not one of those like left book psychos who's like, no, they eat burgers every day in North Korea, dude. You don't even fucking know, right? I'm not one of those people at all. If your entire brand revolves around like in North Korea, Kim Jong-un is force feeding dogs to its citizens, okay, and like making YouTube posts about that shit, then don't turn around and literally compare it to fucking a class you had in Colombia, because you've automatically trivialized everything that North Korea, you say that everything North Korea is doing. The moment that some fucking person who's like, I escaped a North Korean gulag and Colombian intro to biology class resembles a North Korean gulag, it's done. It is, I will never, ever believe another single thing you say. You know what I believe? When North Koreans that like escape to South Korea or whatever eat like barbecue and they say, oh my God, this is so delicious. You know those videos that we watch from time to time? I believe that. Motherfucker likes barbecue. I agree. Barbecue's delicious. Okay? I agree with you, North Korean man. If that guy all of a sudden turned around and was like, also, vegan meat is exactly like being in a gulag, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Not sure what that was supposed to say.
He was like, he was shitting on the anecdote that Jordan Peterson gave because it just sounded suspicious. Like it sounded like propaganda. But it's like one of those anecdotal stories that sounds like too fake, trying to push a narrative, clearly trying to push a narrative through the story. That's what he was roasting it for.
Well, getting laid turn you into a psychopath.
I don't think so. You exhibit the psychopathic behaviors which will cause you to continue to try and get laid over and over again. Like a normal person would just get tired of it. That like if it's too easy for them, they won't even like pursue it that much after like the first couple. So like if you're someone who's just like completely like going into it, you're an addict or like some sort of narcissist, or that shows some other underlying problem. But
that's true.
I don't think it'll literally turn you into a psychopath.
If you're like playing a game on easy mode, how long are you gonna play that game for?
Not too long.
Not too long, right? If you out here getting laid and it's that easy for you, it's whatever. At that point, you're gonna look for something else. Not gonna turn you into a psychopath.
The title of this video has some bias to it because the whole debate with Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson, it seems like they were talking about something much deeper than just getting laid.
I mean, in terms of like the people in the video, like I know our comments are very like one side or the other, but I don't have a problem with like any of them. Like Hassan's like very entertaining.
Yep.
Jordan Peterson, overall he's positive, even though he can be dramatic. I think overall it's a positive message, and I feel like he's needed in the like manosphere. In general, overall, like I don't have any type of hate for any of the guys in this video.
All right, y'all. That was it for Hasanabi, Jordan Peterson, and Ben Shapiro. We can tell y'all really enjoy this type of content, so you already know you're gonna be showing some love. You already know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. And
don't forget to tell us what straw man means.
We'll catch y'all on the next one. Until then, peace.